How we doing today, y'all? What is popping? It's Monday. It's a gloomy Monday today here in New York City, but we are here and we got to stay oiled up. I don't got my oil on today because I got a long sleeve shirt on, but you know what I mean? It's always standing by just in case. But I do think that excuse me, I think we got a little oiled up last night, a little too oily, okay? Let me be clear with y'all. I'm not playing with y'all tonight. Tonight is going to be probably a quicker live because I got no sleep after that freak off, okay? If you guys weren't here, we had Slash on last night. We did an exclusive interview with Slash. He is one of the guys that was inside the freak off with Diddy and Cassie, and he took us in detail inside the inner workings of the freak off. Make sure you guys catch that video. It is the video right before this one. So if you guys hadn't watched that, catch up on that because y'all had a lot to say in regards to me and Armand, you're flirting with the man and this and that third. First of all, when I'm looking like this, I'm looking down. I was smiling in the video because I was just gagging that it was so much going on. And let me be clear here, okay? First of all, ladies and gentlemen in the back, okay? Y'all know that I was asking the questions that y'all wanted to know. And when I told him to scoot back, y'all know y'all wanted me to have him scoot back. Because if I didn't, y'all would have been thinking it. You're talking about I'm flirting. No, that was you projecting on me, okay? And so you were flirting through me. And so I held you down. You know, if anything, I was over there gagging by the amount of curse words he kept using after we had a conversation about him not using those words. And according to him, he was taking it PG-13. So anyway, but shout out to Flash. I enjoyed the interview. It was one of my favorite ones. It was a good time. And so, but we got to move into today. But before we move into today, we got to take a word from the Dutch. All right, Duchess, hit it.
All my wiggles, bring the tea. I said, all my wiggles, bring the tea. I said, all my wiggles, bring the tea. We go down to the courthouse, bring the tea. He give us ideas, bring the tea. He is never biased, bring the tea. I said, all my wiggles, bring the tea. I said, all my wiggles, bring the tea. All my wiggles, bring the tea. All my wiggles, bring the tea. I want to thank all my bring the tea. I want to thank all my bring the tea. Oh, he's sassy and classy. Bring the tea. I said, all my niggas,
bring the tea. Thank you, Duchess. We love you. Thank you, Dutch. All right. That was Duchess Kelly Love, everyone. Now, okay, so can we talk? Okay, so today we're at that funny phase. So it was gloomy today, but we're at that funny phase of the trial. We're 6 weeks in. This trial is supposed to be 8 weeks long, okay? So we're coming down to the end of the prosecution's, I don't know what do you call it? They're about to rest their case, okay? And so we're going to get into the defense. So we're in this transition now where this week we started with the summary witnesses. Now that was so boring, but I said in it, but I was so tired because I didn't get my liquid IV drip after Slash took us to the freak off. However, we got some information there, okay? We got some freak off videos in the courtroom. We also got a little bit more into the nits of the grits of Diddy's travels and escort travels. And guess who was one of the main corporates that was getting flown out everywhere? Jules. I was gagging because you remember Jules. Jules is the guy that introduced Flash into Diddy. So Jules was in Cassie and Diddy first. Actually, Jules was one of Cassie's favorites. That was one of Diddy's and Cassie's favorite. Jules was taking them for all their coin. And he was getting flown from here to New York to there, everywhere. Remember, and we found out yesterday, this is why you always got to watch this show. We found out yesterday that Jules had a girlfriend, but still they were swingers. And so he got into the mix and he was freaky deaky like that. And so he was always with it. And so everything started to make sense. I'm like, wait, we're hearing about Jules a lot today. And I was like, oh my God, this is the Jules that linked Flash in with Diddy. Or is it Slash? I don't know. So we got into all of that. But before the day started, you guys already know, a lot of people already know if you've been following the case, it's no surprise. They got rid of the black guy, juror number 6. So the defense was feeling like it was a race thing. I don't even really remember how the prosecution started looking into him. There's all these rumors going around saying that, people were saying that he was making faces. YouTubers and media platforms were, pointing out this juror for different things. So the prosecution needed to find a way to get rid of him because they felt like he was leaning more towards Diddy. And so they found him on a technicality, and the technicality was the fact that he is apparently from New Jersey, and I guess his girlfriend lives in the Bronx, but he don't live where he say he lived. He lied, and they felt like, well, he lied to just be a juror on the Diddy trial, because if you're a juror on the trial like this, cha-ching, you're going to make a lot of freaking money. This is where you write your books, you do your tell-all. Once it's all over, you're a part of history, no matter which way that it goes. You're a part of the documentaries. You're an overnight sensation once you're done with a trial like this. And so who wouldn't want to be involved? So he lied a little bit. And then I think it was the fact that, he has a pending lawsuit against one of his former leasing property management companies or property managers. And so they were just digging up all this dirt on him. So inevitably, that juror ended up leaving. I wonder, juror number 6, if you're able to talk, I don't know if you can, but maybe I have to look those up, but call me. Maybe we can have you on the show, and you know what I mean? Don't do any talking yet. And, come on over here and let's just see what we can talk about. Because now I'm sure those jurors are all watching the show, but watching, what's going on online, even though they're not supposed to. But we'd love to have you. I can get you a nice little studio. We can set it up and we can get into some things. No shade. Okay, so here's the thing. So they got rid of him, but it's not over. There might be another juror gone tomorrow because they've allegedly been having improper conversations about the case. I hope this is not another black juror, because part of the problem is this juror was 41, black male, and they replaced him with a 57-year-old white guy. And so it looks like, are the prosecution trying to get rid of all the black people that may lean towards Diddy? However, everybody has to be on the same page. So we're going to see how this ends. I feel like, and the judge was saying basically, hey, the race is not a problem. Nobody considered race. Nobody thought about race. That's not an issue. So we're not even going to factor that in here. He lied, and that is what it is. Now, I don't even think that they're going to get this mistrial. They're going to try to shoot for another mistrial. I don't think it's going to go through. The judge is not going to go for it. They're just shooting for anything they can get right now. Do I blame them? No, but I don't think it's going to go through. This next juror, I don't know what's going to happen. We're going to find out tomorrow. All right. It's just been a lot of weird things going on in the courtroom, at the courthouse, from videos and leaks and jurors and people saying people's names and people. So it's a lot of politics. It's a lot of inner workings. A lot of people having different conversations with people are online. People are inside the court. Everything is influencing this case. Everything is influencing this case. It's no shade. And you don't know what corner of where people lie, from the media to the lawyers to the jurors. Okay. It's a lot going on. So here's the thing with the judge, though. I'm not gonna lie. I think the judge is pretty fair across the board. He gets the prosecution together. He gets the defense together. I don't think the judge is biased one way. I think, but I also do think the judge is not going to do a mistrial because I don't think that he wants to be the one to have on his record that he gave Diddy the mistrial. So I don't know. I think there's a lot of different variables to this, and I think that judge is not going to want to sleep at night with him feeling like he gave a mistrial. I don't think he's going to want that. So I just don't think that he's going to give that. There was also rumors that Kanye West was supposed to come today. I had heard that Kanye West was on possibly the list for friends and family today and yesterday. So people are also on the lookout for Kanye West. So don't be surprised if Kanye West pops into the courthouse. I'm hearing that he wants to pop into the courthouse to do the eye for eye, just kind of look at Diddy and give him the nod. I don't know if they'll let Kanye in because that could be a big distraction. And I don't know if that would hurt him or like help him or hinder him. I'm torn with that. I'm not really sure if that will be a good move because Kanye West has a lot of controversy around his name. And I don't know how that will go. But at the same time, Kanye West has the celebrity attached to him to where that could actually help him. So there's that. So when we got into the summary witnesses, we had special agents from all different areas. We had a special agent come on. We had what do you call that girl? She's like a paralegal come on. She organizes all the receipts and text messages. Here's what I will say. They went over a lot of stuff that we already knew because they were summarizing the case. But there were some text messages that, we didn't have yet, like Diddy wanting to, hit up Cassie after they kind of decided to have a freak off. But after Christmas, they were going to do a belated Christmas. And Diddy decided, hey, for Christmas, do we want to spend Christmas together? And let's do a freak off. And Cassie goes, yeah. I think he actually hit her up and said, are you horny? And she said, yes, I'm horny. He said, well, Merry Christmas. Happy belated Christmas. Would you want to do a freak off? And Cassie said, yeah. So then they had a belated freak off Christmas. So, a little of that is Cassie is with some of that too. So, and the prosecution kind of brought that up. So I thought that was very interesting. Like, I don't know if that's going to really help your case. I think their idea was to say, hey, Diddy wants a freak off at all costs, but Cassie was already planning one. And I don't think that's too off to be like, oh, it's a special holiday. Let's do a little freak off for Christmas. I think that almost sounds a little bit not normal, but some people I feel like would do that. So I don't know. And they were going to do jingle balls, and that better be hard. So there was that. But one thing that I thought that was really, really interesting is they talked about confiscating. The prosecution did a good job, in my opinion, really painting the picture through this summary of the enterprise in the RICO. I do think they have the RICO, guys, because they confiscated 2 phones from KK, and a lot of messages were in those phones and videos from KK. I don't know how this works because I'm not a lawyer. I don't know how this works. If Diddy gets convicted, what happens to KK, how she's not been subpoenaed, how she's not on the stand, how she's not involved. But they showed a detailed outline on how KK was facilitating this alongside, taking the orders from Diddy and then dishing the orders out down below. Like Diddy would say, I need a room done. KK would hit up the assistant and say, get the room ready. Or Diddy would need some drugs, upward from $1,500 for Molly's and $1,800 for Coke, and like just things like that. And KK would be moving the parts. KK will be moving the parts, setting up the rooms, contacting, setting up the escorts to come to the room, communicating with them, communicating with the security guard to make sure that the escort can get up the stairs, all these different things. And Diddy would be talking to KK, and they played audio of Diddy calling her and saying what he needed and what he needed to be done. And, can you get this room set up? Can you get that done? And so they did a good job by showing how KK definitely is a co-conspirator. And this is definitely an enterprise because Diddy would put out the demand. She would then go and execute the demand between her and the lower people under her to facilitate the baby oil. It was one of the guys that was like, all right, I know the drill. So I go get the towels, I go get the how, I get everything set up, and I'm on my way to the store to grab the baby oil. Like, that was a part of the thing. You make sure you go pick up the baby oil. And then they was even talking about, yeah, he's going to be on some freaky tonight. So we got to set it up. He's going to be on a freaky wild boy tonight. Then I think there was at one point they were saying, well, how tore up is he? Is he Gucci bag tore up or is he Louis bag tore up? And I'm not really sure what's the difference in each bag, but I'm assuming one got a little bit more oil than the other. Or one might be a full-on ketamine binge, and the other one might be like a Soma and Vicodin binge. But depending on what bag it is dependent upon how you need to come at that mother, because that determines the level of how fucked up he is. So Diddy had his whole thing. They was even able to understand what kind of character they were dealing with based upon what kind of handbag or drug bag he had on his person at that time. I thought that was very interesting. How can you identify my personality today depending on the purse I'm carrying? Because okay, the Gucci bag got the good, and then the Louis bag got the real shit. You know what I'm saying? It's the freaky. This is the 8-hour freak off, and this is the 36-hour freak off. And on top of it, the freak off, this might be an ass whooping over here too. You know what I'm saying? So you might get socked and popped. And so everybody had to be on guard and understand which version they were getting. It's crazy. So that was that. And so I thought that was interesting that they were able to outline that. Then they played audios and videos where he would say, like, he needed about $10,000 in cash, text messages where he would need $10,000 in cash. So you'd have to set the room up. He'd actually have them facilitating, like talking to the different guys and stuff like that. And then he would tell them, and I need about $10,000 in cash. Make sure you get me to bring the cash here too. He would also, I wrote here, KK was the fixer. She was the Olivia Pope in the whole thing. She moved all the pieces. He just made the call to her, and she just did it all. She really is Diddy, but then it's KK. Even with the hoes. When Mia, or when what's the one whole name? Oh my God. Jane Doe. When Jane Doe would have issues, they would all go to KK Cassie. And then she'd have to be the one in the middle to say, okay, well, we're going to fix this. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. But she halfway fixed it. You know what I mean? She don't really fix it. She just appease everybody. Jane Doe called her and said, hey, I'm so high. I just need some rest. I'm high as shit. We had a freak off last night, and I'm high out of my mind. KK said, try getting some natural chocolate. I think it does something with your brains. Or maybe you just need some sleep. There was some other things she suggested too. I forget. I don't know if it was a liquid IV or some vitamins. But she said, you'll be all right. And then Jane Doe, okay, I'm going to get all of that you said. Thank you. No worries. She gets off the phone. Just keeps it moving. Just keeps it moving. Because Diddy was always worried about being in more situations. So he would have her fix it because we don't need any more legal issues. We don't need any problems. Get these girls quiet. They're complaining, appease them so that we can keep this train moving. But also, while you're appeasing them, make sure you got Jonathan booking the next big nigga and set that towel room up, and make sure all the dope is here too. So KK wore a lot of hats. And so that was very clear. And I think that the prosecution made it very clear, because I was like, ooh. When they opened up, they made it very clear that so the paralegal lady, she organized all the text messages and some of the voice notes, right? And so they set the stage of where was all these messages and things confiscated? Well, in 2 phones. And what person was it confiscated from? KK. Why was that important? Because you're trying to prove the enterprise. And so now you're showing all this communication from KK's phones to all these different people between her and Diddy, and facilitating drug deals, handling escorts, handling scorned girlfriends, handling freak off setups, and delegating tasks to other employees. That was very clear today. And you got audio from Diddy telling her what he needed. So much so, the guy was already under investigation, and he's dropping voice notes saying we shouldn't be talking like this. We shouldn't be talking on the phone. I can't say too much. But even that ended up in court, because nigga, you knew that you shouldn't have been saying it, because it was going, they could one day be used in court, and it did exactly that. So I don't know. That's going to be a very interesting situation there. One thing also that was interesting, because it was like some of the stuff we already heard. We knew about the stuff with D-Rock and Mia, and so they went over everything else we had heard, okay, to bring it around. But then what was new to me, well, we knew about the freak off videos, but we knew about those videos from Cassie. But they had found, at least 3 new videos. 3 from KK's phone. 2 of the videos were 11 minutes. One of the videos were 39 minutes. So, of course, I'm in the main courtroom. They turn off the monitor where, we can all see it, the press and the public. We couldn't see it. And they turn off the monitor in the overflow room. They give everybody headphones. But of course, Diddy's team, they're right in front of us. So I'm thinking, well, it's okay. We're going to be able to still peek, because usually I'm still peeking on their TV monitor. I mean, their computer screens. They didn't even let them see it. So they moved the exhibits all the way to the front, to where if you weren't in that area, you weren't able to see it, but you could hear it. But we couldn't hear it. But they were fast forwarding to specific parts. Now, I don't know if this was Cassie by herself, and I don't know if this was Jane Doe too. I don't know what all videos it was. But I'll tell you this. They played specific parts of each freak off video, right? And I could hear stuff. And so I was like, oh, wait, hold on. You could hear. So I'm sitting in the back. I'm trying to scoot up. And I was like, fuck this. I'm finna scoot up. I'm trying to hear. And then people talking, I'm like, I'm fighting sleep too, because I'm bored as hell, but then I hear it. So I'm over there. When you're trying to hear, you're doing this. You try to go into a deep meditation. And I don't know, why do we do that? You go like into a deep meditation, and you think that just opens up your ears. So I'm just thinking, if I could just focus on the sounds, and then I just want to start shuffling papers, and one lady want to start writing. Don't write by me in front of me. She writing from the tap. I'm like, talking about, she gonna write on the paper, sex. I'm like, girl, shut up. So I'm like, girl, I'm trying to hear. I'm damn near on the bare neck in front of me. And somebody comes to the back. I'm like, oh my God, be quiet. And I'm listening for, ooh, or dick, or ooh, or big dick. I'm trying to hear something. Oh, I'm like, and I'm just hearing commotion. And I think I heard pull it out. I mean, maybe I didn't, or maybe I wanted to hear that. But I felt like I heard something or like, grab that motherfucker. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I heard pull it out. But so, and I heard a little bit of like the door, and I felt like I heard the handprints on the wall, because they said the baby oil would last and stick to the wall. So I did feel like I heard like a butt cheek smack with the hand on the wall. But I don't know if I could make all that out from how far back I was. You know what I'm saying? And so I just have to go with my imagination, because 39 minutes, that's happening. And so I'm listening. And I'm trying to and then and tell at some point I almost tried to really get into my psychic vibe and try to my clairvoyant and my, I tried to teleport too. But none of that was working. I was too tired from the freak off last night. So I didn't really hear much, to say the least. But what I did get was, once that was done, though, Diddy looked very uncomfortable. And when I say uncomfortable, it's almost kind of like, have you almost pooted and shit yourself a little bit? And you're like, oh, or you farted and it really stink. And you like, damn, what was that? That was the face he made, like kind of gagged. And Nicole Westmoreland, she wasn't feeling that either. I'm going to be honest with you. The vibe in the courtroom, it was a little slow, but it was a gloomy day today. But everybody wasn't just as chipper and excited and just up. And it wasn't full of his family. I think it was just his homeboy and his mom. And I think his publicist was there. But I even feel like, Holly had to work today. She looked like she was tired. The mom looked like she was very concerned. Everybody looked like they're like, okay, this is the summary, and they're coming out with these new videos. Like, we got to get our game face on here. And so, I don't know. He didn't look too confident today. He kind of looked like kind of thrown off. But in my mind, you guys know what exhibits they're going to play, and you know what's coming into the evidence. But it just was a bad day, because I feel like, hey, they lost their juror that they felt like probably would have been leaning towards them. And then 2, you got 3 new freak off videos, and then you got all these text messages, and then they got also you're setting up, paying for travel, going inside the funds and booking the escorts, and having Jules be flown out everywhere, setting up the flights, having your employees book flights, sending out the demand. All of this is on voice note and text message. It's written out. It's very clear. If this was the clearest it was for me today. Now, the jurors' reactions, because I was looking for something, but I think that the jurors' reactions, there's one guy, I probably shouldn't say that. Well, there's one juror that does not even look our way. He faces this way, and everybody else is behind him the entire time. I don't know if he be asleep or what, but I think the jurors know. I feel like they've got coached to say, the media's in here watching. And because we weren't able to hear anything, you can see everybody looking up like thirsty bloodhounds, looking for the slightest moment to get something out of that visual. Everybody was like, can do something, smile, burp, fart, grin so I can make it a headline. And I got one because Diddy was looking uncomfortable when he seen it. So everybody's looking for the smallest minute detail to just kind of get reassured as to, or get some insight to what is actually going on inside the courtroom. But I think the jurors, I've never been on jury duty, and I've never been a juror on this level, but I feel like because there's no juror seat is safe, and because there's so many different forms of media and you don't know who's in bed with who and all of this stuff, and every juror wants to be a part of the case because this is their bottom line, I feel like they're being told, hey, don't look that way, be stone cold, don't break character, because the minute that you do, there's going to be 100 live videos on YouTube, 100 write-ups. Everybody's watching you. The jurors are like in a fishbowl, and people are looking to watch them because these are little things that you can build content off of or make headlines on. And the media we are the media. We are thirsty. And so I think the jurors are figured that out, and they gave nothing. They gave nothing. I was looking for something, but they didn't give anything. So that was interesting. They didn't give anything. Now, they're set to rest their case probably this week. The defense is also being really interesting because they're kind of not wanting to show their hand for some reason. I don't know why. They don't really want to put out, who their witnesses are going to be. They've got they've named 3 witnesses that are coming through. I think Abasha and some Indian sounding guy. I don't know who this person is. And then they got like a Secret Service person to do some summary. And then I think they're trying to bring like a psychotherapist in there too to kind of combat what Dr. Hugh came and said. So I don't know if there's going to be any celebrities coming out to speak. I don't know if there's going to be any Diddy friends or family getting on the stand. They're supposed to finalize that list and have it ready by Friday or no later than Sunday so that the prosecution can get ready for their cross. So they presented a long list of people amongst themselves. However, would they announce this week, they're going to be, they've only announced 3 people. So, and it was nobody that I necessarily recognized. So it's going to be interesting to see how the defense actually, navigates this whole thing. And I want to see what angle they're going to take. And I also want to know, will Diddy get on the stand? So I think that, once the defense gets back into the game, this will become a more of an explosive kind of situation. But as of right now, I think the prosecution is doing a pretty good job by stringing everything together with their summary witnesses. I don't feel like the defense is actually doing that well. The defense actually tried to, debunk some of the things that was being said by the prosecution in the summary by saying that, you weren't shown certain evidence so that you can streamline it into your summary. Right? But then the the prosecution came back and said, well, look at the pictures and look at this evidence that the defense is showing you, because they're showing you some of their exhibits, right? And what phone did that come out of? I think it could have came out of like either Diddy's phone or Cassie's phone or Jane Doe's phone. And they said the evidence that we're talking about and we're having you summarize, whose phone did that come out of? And it came out of KK's phone. And she said, no further questions. Meaning the defense, they tried to like throw a monkey wrench in it like, oh, well, you didn't see this, you didn't see that. But that wasn't the point, because we weren't even talking about that. We're talking about KK's phone. So you're pulling up stuff that came from another phone that we were trying to say that I didn't show you this information. No, we're building this around KK's phone in the communication that she had in the co-conspiracy that she had in her ties to the enterprise. That's what we're showing. So the defense was they were trying to get in there, but I feel like the prosecution was really tight with their summary. I do. So the other part is, so there's that. And so we're going to continue on a little bit more tomorrow. But I think the guy's name is Brendan Paul. He's coming on tomorrow. It's going to be very interesting. It could be a bloodbath for Diddy. Remember, that's the white guy, the drug mule that got arrested first. So they're giving him immunity, which means he clearly flipped on Diddy. So we're going to get into all the drugs of it all. And that's going to play right into the RICO. That's going to be a mess. That's going to be some tea. So I'm here for that. And then outside of that, you know, I'm going to be ready for the defense because I feel like we're in that transition phase right now where it's kind of like, all right, let's get to some more testimony and let's see. Now I want to see what the defense is going to do. But I'm actually shocked. I felt like, I don't know who I felt like should be there, but I don't know why I feel like the prosecution could have came with a couple more star witnesses, but I don't know who. So I don't know. Now I'm interested to see, you know, who Diddy will actually bring and what will actually happen. So, but because we're not going to be here all night, and because I've been depriving you guys, and we've been having so much fun over the weekend, we had 2 panels with my all-star panelists that were here. Shout out to each and every one of them that were here on the show on Saturday. That's in the courtroom, and then we had my homeboy now, you know, Flash, you know, the Inside the Freak Off guest. Last night we had a good time, and now things are cooling down. We're summarizing up the prosecutions. They're getting ready to rest, and Diddy's team is getting ready to start their case. So what I would like to do tonight for a few minutes is give you guys a chance to give your thoughts on what's going on, because I know it's been really packed in here, and I haven't really got a chance to get what you guys are saying. So I'm going to drop the link, and for a few, I want to know, you know, what you guys are feeling and what you guys are talking about. And remember, if you get on here, please do not say Jane Doe's name. Please refrain from cursing and doing all that crazy stuff, okay? Get in, get out, give your opinion, give your thoughts. Do you think that a RICO is necessary? How do you think Kanye West fits into the picture? What do you think about, you know, Flash being a part coming onto the show? You know, do you think, I heard some people were upset. They were sending links and they were trying to get me in trouble, I guess, for him being on the show, saying like, well, why would he do this to a potential witness, this, that, and the third? Listen, that man can do whatever he wants. And there was no rules in that courtroom that said that he could not come on and do an interview. At least I didn't know that. So the interview is going to stay up. And I don't know what person, you know, it's a lot of weird stuff going on around that courtroom, and it's a lot of haters over there, and they're trying to send links. I heard they were trying to send links and get me in trouble for that and the court. Luckily, we did not get in trouble, but it's a lot going on. So we got one person up here. What's going on, boo? How are you?
Hey, love.
Hey, what do you make of the situation? What do you make of what's going on?
Okay, so I really want to say, I want to ask, the defense should have asked, or I guess they really couldn't ask that. But in any case,
make it quick. Come on, we got a lot of people in here. Come on.
What made Cassie come out now? Like, she's been married for a while. She's had the kids. What made her come out now? And for me, if I was a juror, I couldn't necessarily convict Diddy, even though it is evidence there. I couldn't convict Diddy just off the fact of everything that's going on, because none of the main people are really saying that he's terrible. Like, Cassie got up there and said, hey, he was a great guy, he was inspiring. I don't get that.
So let me ask you something. So as a woman, so you think that, so you would actually lean towards Diddy with everything that you've seen, with everything that you know, you're thinking, well, why should she come out now? Well, I think coming out now, I think that she probably felt like this is the time. You know, she was trying to get her money out of him, but he
No,
wasn't trying to
I was just
pay.
asking that, just not on my opinion of if Diddy is guilty or not. That's just the question that I wanted to know. Why is
Okay.
she why is she coming out now? But as a woman, to me, I just when I heard about all of this, I was on Cassie's side. Like I was like, throw Diddy under the bus. But once the trial started, for
Mm-hmm.
me, I cannot put somebody in jail, black, white, whatever, man. If you went through all of this abuse, right, her and Jane Doe, but you guys are still kind of leaning towards like, hey, I would go back with him. Hey, if I would, if he changed, or if he was this or that, like I would still give it another chance. I can't put somebody in jail. Jail is that's not something that's light. So for me to put somebody in jail for 10, 20, 30 years, I needed to hear Cassie be like, no, he's horrible. I need justice. I want to see justice served. I didn't necessarily get that from her. I got that, hey, I went through a lot, with him. I, survived the abuse and things like that. But I didn't get the conviction of, me as the victim, me as the survivor, I want to see this man in jail. I didn't get that from her or Jane Doe. I got that more so from Don and Mia, the
Mm-hmm.
people who weren't in these relationships with him. And so I needed to hear that myself if I was a juror, because Diddy's already 55. If they give him just the sex trafficking or just one of these charges, and they give him 20 years, well, he'll be in his 70s coming out of jail. I just can't give somebody jail time. Jail time is very serious. If I don't feel as though you, as the person who was in it, you get what I'm saying, is
Okay.
not that strong about it. So that's
Thanks,
just me.
boo. No problem. Let me take this to the car. Hey, La, what's going on?
Hey Armand, thank you for this space. I have to say this just from myself being in mental health and all that in that field, behavior health. Now definitely I believe there is domestic violence. I think domestic violence more so than anything. I think the RICO charges and things like that are more so like a technicality because of the way he was doing it.
Uh oh, we lost her. Okay. Thank you. We're gonna keep going. Hey, what's going on? Unmute. Unmute.
Oh, thank you. Hi, Armand. This
Hey,
is
what's
so
going
awkward.
on?
Yeah, I agree with what the woman was just saying. There was this case today that came out of like ex trafficking. I don't know how I
Mm-hmm.
could say that. And it was like children and 204 people were arrested. And it made sense that this is what was happening. And I feel like with that happening and going viral during the Diddy trial, it kind of shows you like the difference in like the charges and how, yeah, like if you look at it on a technical level, I guess he did these things, but it's a real stretch. And it kind of makes you wonder. Remember when you used to be saying like, are they just trying to take, people down? It makes you wonder, like, is this thing strategically happening to certain people so
Mm-hmm.
that we can see their demise? It just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make
Mm.
sense. It is too technical. Like, I don't think that anyone should be put in jail over something that is just like, yeah, well, if you look at it this way, it fits. But I also think that these laws are designed that way so that, if we do need to just get somebody on a technicality, then we can. Sort of like jaywalking. Like, yeah, it's not it's illegal, but we're only gonna use it if we need to catch that black man and lock him up.
Period. Okay, boo. Thank you. We're gonna
Thank
add some
you.
more people on here. All
Okay.
right, let me go. Butterfly breed. What you got?
Hey Armand, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. So I also work in healthcare, and I have worked with people who have suffered various forms of trauma, and I hear when people say, "Oh, well, they say he's a good guy," but if you have been repeatedly, you know, beaten and verbally abused, mentally abused, emotionally abused, sometimes you will do things that are not logical to make sure that you are safe in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So I would convict him. Also, maybe he doesn't need to go away for 20 years or the rest of his life, but I think as a society, we have to send a message that you cannot torment and abuse not just women. He even did this sort of stuff to me, and you cannot torment and abuse people and think that's okay. People go to prison for financial crimes for many years, and that's
Mm-hmm.
just money. And so as a society, if we're saying that we value people and we want a healthier society, I don't see how you don't give someone at least 5 to 10 years for these sort of atrocities. And a victim is gonna do what they need to do in the moment to be safe. Period.
Thank you. All right, boo. We're gonna take a couple more, and then I am going to rest because I got to get up really early in the morning and get in here for this testimony tomorrow. So we're gonna take a couple more, and then, child, I gotta lay it down because we've been at the freak off. We've been busy all weekend, and we got a lot of stuff to do. All right, and I got a long day tomorrow. So, all right, Simone, talk to me.
Hey Armand, I'm so proud of you. I've been riding
Thank
with you
you.
since you had like 5,000 followers.
Really?
And yes, yes, I've been through it all with you, the scamming, all everything.
Not the scamming. When was I scamming?
Everything. I'm talking about when you had went to jail, like back in the
Oh
day.
yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah, yeah. But I
That
wasn't doing that on YouTube. Don't say that. Go
I know, I
ahead.
know. Anyway, I wanted to ask about Jane Doe. Like, I
Okay.
was with um I was with the state when Cassie was on the stand, but when
Hmm.
she got on the stand, I was just like, I'm not feeling these charges. I think people get overly emotional about the video and stuff, but I don't feel like that's what he's charged for. So I don't feel like they're proving their case for real.
I feel like they kind of are proving the case a little bit with the Jane Doe because remember, she got with KK and she was picking up drugs and transporting the drugs from LA to Miami
Okay. Okay, I could see that, but
for
then
the
like
freak off.
I don't like the force part of it. It was like she wanted to do it. Like
Yeah, I
she didn't
don't
want
know.
nobody else to do it, and she would get jealous of like Carisha when she did this, and she like going back and forth with him. She want to be the girl. It it I don't know about that too much. Also, is anybody getting in trouble for doxing her? Did they mention that at all?
That I think that quietly went away. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Well, I love you. Have a
Love
good
you
night.
too. Thank you. Okay, we're gonna take one more. Let me see. Shanae, what's going on? Talk to me.
Uh, I just want to start off by saying, first of all, I am a huge fan of
Thank you. I
Diddy.
appreciate you for that.
Of you too, yes, yes, but of Sean Combs ever since I was a little girl.
Oh, okay.
And
Now you didn't love me. You love Sean Combs. Okay, go ahead. I thought you was
so
gonna say you love
me
me.
sitting through this trial is so stressful because I got family and everybody that's constantly contacting me, like, did you hear this? Did you hear that? And yes, they are now proving the Rico because before that Cassie video came out, couldn't nobody tell me that Diddy was beating bitches. I mean, sorry.
Come
I'm
on.
sorry. Couldn't nobody tell me that Diddy was doing that to nobody. I would have never believed it until I seen that video. I do see where they're starting to prove the Rico and everything, but I feel like that's their lifestyle. If he was to tell me, if I was to meet him and he tell me he gonna fly me out, he not coming to my house. You gotta fly out with them. I feel like that's Hollywood. That's their lifestyle. That's their type of drug that, I'm not saying that that's right, but I feel like that's their lifestyle. And the women that chose to put up with it seen money, they wanted the lifestyle, and they seen the person that, who it was. Like, that's my honest opinion. And I'm hopefully trying to get out there because I be at work watching the trial all day. I'm
Uh-huh.
trying to get out there the week of the verdict reading. Even if I got to call out of work, I'm coming to support. Hopefully, I could get in the courtroom because I heard you got to be there like 4 in the morning. I'm trying to be there when they read the verdict,
Okay, and
whether
so
it's guilty
so
or
your thing
innocent.
is you want Diddy to go not guilty.
Even
It's
if he's
okay.
good, even if he's found guilty, I don't think he should get life. I don't think he should get life. And
Okay.
I've been thinking about this because, like I said, I'm a fan of him, but I'm also a woman. But I
Mm-hmm.
also know us as women, you know, things that we would do for men that we love. When we love hard. However, they seen that bag. They seen that it was Diddy. They wanted that lifestyle. So it's a fine line. I see all sides of it. And I'm torn. Like, I'm hurt about this. Like, I'm hurt. I watched your live last night. It was great. I was at the edge of my seat, like he asking
Mm-hmm.
all the right questions that I want to know because I can't believe, like, if that's his lifestyle, if that's what he chooses to like, okay, if he's bisexual, but a fan, like,
this showed me all the proof that I needed to know. Like, yes, that's what he's into. But I'm going to try to be there, and hopefully I run into you. You know,
All right,
I'm not going
boo.
to run up like I'm a groupie, but I'm going to try to be there the week of the verdict reading, even if I got to call out of work. And I'm so happy I got through.
All right, see you, boo. All right, guys. So it's that time. I know this was a quickie, but it really wasn't much to discuss today. Um, because like I said, I feel like we're in a transition phase. No crazy testimony. We did hear a little bit of the freak off stuff. They were just really honestly summarizing their case. So it was a lot of stuff we already heard already. We did learn that one juror has been removed and replaced. And they're looking to get rid of another juror, possibly. So maybe tomorrow we'll get some more fireworks, but today that is what we got. All right. So the summary was up and out, and they're still going through the summary right now. The prosecution is getting ready to rest their case, and the defense is getting ready to start theirs. And then right after that, we are probably going into deliberation and the verdict. All right, guys. So, I don't know how this thing is going to go. I don't know which way it's going to go. But we covering this thing from top to bottom. I appreciate you guys. If you guys have not watched, please make sure you guys go watch. We had such a good time last night. I'm so tired because we did a late night live. We did 2 lives this weekend, but last night's interview with Flash was so good, so fun. That was a hot video. Make sure you guys go watch it. Inside the Freak Off. He gives a step-by-step, Diddy by Diddy, what went on, how it went on, what all happened. It's a great watch if you guys hadn't watched it too. And you know what? We're almost at 300,000 subscribers. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to the channel now. And tomorrow we'll be back refreshed and hopefully with some more testimony. Okay. So until next time, keep that same energy. I'll see you soon. Peace out.